birthed by Sleep Final Mix HD. This is a long title, ALML, by Mondstriker. Good luck, have fun.
Thank you, Xoneris, for the long introduction. And hey, everybody! Finally, it's happening. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix HD. We are going to do Ventus beginner, any percent. Yeah, sorry for the long wait. It was a little bit of trouble. I'm Mondstriker. Next to me is Desar3579.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're both runners of the game. And
Yeah.
I'll be doing the commentary. Mode's going to play the game.
Yeah, more likely. So what we are going to do first, you see we have 3 characters here, like Terra, Ventus and Aqua, and the run is going to start when I just going to press a button for yes. Yeah, the honor. So 3, 2, 1, go!
Pog.
Pog. Alright. First, skipping cutscenes, because cutscenes are so long and tired of waiting. So we have here some orbs of light. You can explain it very well, I guess.
So we have some orbs that you have to fight with every single character, no matter what story you play with. They're the easiest with Ventus, I would say, but usually it's faster to fight them with Terra. They suck on all 3 categories, however. Because they're all random, their patterns are random, and so both finishers and air hits can knock the orbs through the entire room. So you usually try to either knock them into each other or just defeat them as fast as possible. However, your team members, they can help you. They can also just screw you up by kicking the orbs into oblivion to the other side of the room or wherever they want to. They're more harm than help in this fight. And it's
was
not
a little
long
bad,
fight, but it's fine.
Yeah,
not too bad.
The most problem in this Orbs of Light fight is they don't have a really good pattern, so they are completely RNG based.
Exactly. There are like 2 things that are consistent with it, and that's the starting pattern, where you would usually just shot lock, and on the last wave you have 2 orbs that are usually next to each other, which you can knock into each other if you would go for that strat.
Yeah. So basically, for those guys who don't know what Kingdom Hearts basically is, this is more likely the start of the game from the whole story, apparently.
Yeah, so all 3 characters visit the exact same worlds, but in a different order. And with Ventus, we start in Dwarf Woodlands, the Snow White world. And the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to enter the mines and find the 7 dwarfs. Even though we actually only have to find 6 of them.
I hate this minigame.
Yeah, it can be pretty trolly because there are a few dwarfs that can just do whatever they want to. They can dodge your finishers, and you just saw something. Ventus, the character we're playing right now, was ledge grabbing, and for some reason, if you're very unlucky, he can just get stuck on the ledge and never move ever. So right here, all the dwarfs he did the thing. He did the thing. So all the 6 dwarfs that we have to find, because the first one didn't even run away in the first place, all of them are in boxes, except for one. He's in a minecart, but we'll get to that one later. And all of them have different patterns. One of them moves around, like this one, which is Grumpy, I believe. And the first one we found was Sneezy. He keeps jumping with his sneezes, and he's usually the one that dodges all your finishers. The next one is going to be Sleepy. He doesn't do anything. He just waits until you find him.
He's just sleeping already.
Yeah, he is already sleeping. He doesn't even try.
So,
perfect. That's very good. So you can get a D-Link drop here already, which I should explain what D-Links are. Every character has... It's like a summon in other KH games. You activate the D-Link and you get the abilities that the respective character has that you're forging the D-Link with. In this case, we have Aqua. And on the first level, she has Blizzara, Fandara, and Cura, I believe. Cura, exactly. Yeah. And with D-Link levels, you can get up to 2 D-Link levels, which are the 2 little circles around the character portrait. And they grant you more commands, and on the last level, a different finisher.
Come on.
Getting the first level early means that we already have commands that we can use for the grinding part later. This is the one guy in the card, I forgot what his name was.
Minecart.
And a minecart, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know the name either, but it's not necessary to be honest.
You can, if you're very fast with this, and you'd have to get perfect luck for that, you can find the last 2 dwarfs that won't just uncover it now. You can uncover them at the same point with 1 finisher, but for that everything has to go perfectly. So now we have the first menu. We have a few tutorial screens here. Get our first ability. And we replace Quick Blitz and Arrow with Sliding Dash and Mini, just so we can level up commands. So in this game we have... Oh, that was Bashful? Okay, thanks for correcting.
Bashful, true.
So in this game we have a command deck, contrary to most of the other games. The only games that have command decks are Recoded and BBS, as we're playing right now. And in these games you can level up commands, which means if you have your commands equipped, you don't have to necessarily use them, you just have to have them equipped. You will get CP, which are command points for each of the commands. And they can all level up. They don't necessarily get stronger, but if they are on max level, you can melt the commands with crystals as well to get some abilities and new commands out of that. So we're having Sliding Dash, Mini, and Strike Rate right now because we want to melt Sliding Dash and Strike Rate later in the menu. And Mini, if commands are higher level, they sell for higher, so we just have it here because it's actually useful for the fight and we get a lot of money out of it.
So, be ready for the best minigame ever. It is apparently the best escort mission ever, even better than the Minnie Mouse.
This is the best escort.
Not really.
No, have you tried the other 2 escorts? Like, every character has an escort mission at Terra, Aqua, and Ventus.
I played all the stories.
Okay, good. Because Ventus has to escort Snow White, which is the most consistent out of the 3 escorts. Then Terra has Cinderella and Aqua has Jacques, but they are both pretty terrible.
There.
And in this case, we have Snow White running through the forest, not knowing where to go. For some reason, she doesn't just go a straight line, but she runs around in circles, because apparently that's a good idea. And right here, there are, I think, 6 evil trees, which a few of them you can skip if you get a good pattern from the enemies. And they actually get hit. But yeah, these trees will approach Snow White and breathe on them. I don't even know what they're doing. They're just trying to scare her or whatever, and you can block that scream or whatever it is. And use a command called White Calm to put the trees back to their original state. Like right here, the white little pillar. Yeah, you see the damage bar in the top left. On beginner, it doesn't really matter because characters barely take any damage. Neither do we. Neither we nor the escort characters take really any damage on beginners. So the problem in this escort is usually not that the character takes too much damage, but just
it is a long way because there are some. You need to sometimes to get rid of the unversed in this situation, otherwise she wouldn't just go.
Exactly. The escort characters don't move if there's anything in front of them. It can be you, unversed, or anything, they just don't move if they don't want to.
And that's the problem here in this case.
So right here we have the first boss, the Mad Treant.
I love this boss.
And yeah, he has one little quirk. He has a few attacks that aren't really dangerous on beginner. On crit they would be lethal, but on beginner it's fine.
Don't say this.
Why?
I actually died to him in beginner.
Oh, wow.
Don't know why.
Okay. Well, they shouldn't be lethal, let's say it like that. And this one little quirk is that after a certain number of hits, which is why we're using the shot lock early on with max shot lock, he can go invulnerable like this in this purple phase.
We'll wait here a little bit.
If you get under damaged, he can do it twice, where in the first invulnerability he's actually vulnerable but just has a hitbox over his entire body.
For shot lock?
Yeah.
Should be.
Could be.
If not, then I will just.
It's like improve. 1 or 2 extra hits. And
yeah, okay.
Yeah, he can go invulnerable or purple twice or once. It mainly matters on how much damage you deal before he stands up, and a little bit on luck. But yeah, it's a pretty lenient fight on beginner. There isn't really much to it.
I don't know why I died there. I don't know.
I don't know either. I haven't died yet on beginner, I believe. At least I can't remember.
Don't be sure.
I'm pretty sure.
You don't be sure.
Okay, so now the 3 more worlds unlocked, the Castle of Dreams, Enchanted Dominion, and the Mirage Arena, which the Mirage Arena will ignore completely as it's not part of the story.
Where's the guy in the middle? I don't know.
Kappa is in the middle.
It's Kappa. Oh yeah. I know.
And yeah, Castle of Dreams, Enchanted Dominion, Mirage Arena. Mirage Arena doesn't, you have to go to the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mirage Arena doesn't matter in any percent. It would only matter if you do Mirage Arena, RTAs, or whatever. And the other 2 worlds, Castle of Dreams and Enchanted Dominion, are worlds that we have to visit. We first gonna visit Castle of Dreams, and now we have a little shop. We'll sell Quick Blitz and Mini to get a lot of money. And buy a few commands. We want to buy 5 fires and 1 cure, for now at least. Later on we'll come back and buy more stuff, but that's all we need. And now oh yeah, you can do this with sliding dash. You don't necessarily.
Yeah, I just wait a little bit for sliding dash. That's the problem about those command decks. You just have to wait.
Exactly. So commands have all cooldowns, which is why Moon is raging right now. You want to defeat those 2 floods because then on the top, on the higher level, there will be another flood spawning. You can do this with sliding dash. You don't necessarily have to, but it's a little bit harder if you don't use sliding dash because with sliding dash it's consistent. Without, it is only consistent if you practice it a little bit. If you fail, you usually have to re-enter the room because that flood only gives you 1 chance to get up there. Now we want to use sliding dash to be on top of the room and collect a few things for Cinderella's dress, a sash, button, and whatnot. And there we saw Moon using another D-Link just to have sliding dash as a movement tech. And now we have the next menu. We want to equip 4 fires at first.
No, cure and arrow.
No, it doesn't really matter. You can.
It doesn't matter, but I always start always with cure and arrow.
In general, you want to level all 6 fires, cure and arrow in this part, and we want to equip treasure trove because it has.
So first we get this one. Yeah, I forget this every time.
Yeah, okay.
So first I need to get
now we have to get D-Link back because you see the gauge isn't full. It has to glow for it to be full, or to be able to activate a D-Link. And now we're basically gonna grind. We're gonna try to get the 2nd D-Link level of Aqua, which is a random drop. And the way D-Link drop... Ooh, there's already that's
perfect.
really fast. Okay. That's pretty lucky there. So the way D-Link drops work is that... oh, wow.
Can I have it please again?
You didn't even work. I didn't even think that...
I never knew that this was working.
Usually you're not able to get 2 D-Link drops at once, but I believe because of the 2nd level, it treated it as you reverting, because you saw the animation again. But usually you're not able to get 2 D-Link drops in the same D-Link. That's interesting to know. Okay.
So I guess I need to... I guess Cure is not ready.
Our main goal here is to get to level 6 and have 110 EXP left, just to set up for the forced fights we have afterwards to get a certain level on a certain fight, which we're going to talk about later.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil it yet. And apart from that, we want to level the commands that we equipped.
Okay, that's good.
So right here, I believe they should be already
leveled. They are already... Yeah. Now, Cure was the last one.
So
this is apparently the last one that is going to level 2.
For most of the commands, you need them to be fully leveled, which means they'll have a little crown at the right instead of the EXP bar.
Like level 3.
Yeah, which is like, it can be anything between level 3 and 6, depending on what kind of command you have.
Oh, didn't got. Come on, give me a coin.
Yeah, some commands have a very convenient exception that you don't have to level them up fully, and it helps a lot.
Again, what is happening here?
I hope you get that good of luck later on, where you actually have to grind the D-Links.
Please. It is just weird that I just get it.
So yeah, you're seeing this room right now. We're gonna come back to it later because there's been not really a round change. It's not really recently, but for the most part, because loading times on this game, both on PS3 and PSP, it first released on PSP, and loading times on both that version and the PS3 version are horrendous. Which is why the route we used was not quite optimal, but optimal for these consoles. We would grind at the beginning, but every character but Terra goes for a 2nd grind now that the loading times are pretty much non-existent on the PS4 version.
So I just need one more, I guess.
Yeah.
I just need one
You
more.
just have to
Yeah, for
continue
level
until you're...
6.
Yeah. So you can see the EXP requirement in the top left. It says 84 right now, but we're still level 5, which means we don't have enough XP just yet. As you see, Aqua has a few new commands since we got the level up. We have the most important ones, Magnera and Mind Square. Mind Square instantly kills most of the enemies, and Magnera just gathers all of them to make it easier to kill them. Magnera has a funny little proportion, so if you knock enemies... No, that's a cage 2 thing. In general, Magnet is based on frames, which means on 30 frames per second, you don't get as many hits as on 60 frames per second, because Square did a pretty poor job of porting the games into 60 FPS. Which means since the PS4 ports, Magnera and Fandara are both twice as strong as they used to be on the original version. So now we're level 6 and we have, 89 EXP. That's more than enough. Now we can just leave. You have to get the last one on the
this one.
couch,
Yeah. Oh, no.
you can just go there and
no,
get it right now. You can get the dealing level later.
It's this one.
Yeah, double white lace.
I forgot about this.
Now we finished the dress and we have to fend off Lucifer. But first we have a little shop.
Yeah, and I guess I need to melt. Yeah.
You want to melt as well,
yeah,
right?
I need to melt anyway.
You don't have to sell anything, I believe.
No, I don't. I have enough, I guess.
Yeah, you just want to buy 4 sleeves because we want to use them in a boss fight later on.
So then we are going to melt now. That's a new thing here about.
Yeah, that's another thing about Birth by Sleep. You can meld your commands, as I addressed earlier. We want to use crystals. In this case, we have one shimmering crystal, which is...
Apparently the best one.
Yeah, shimmering is what we want to use in this case. There are... In the way it works, there are... I believe it's 12 different categories... Yeah, is it 12? Like 10 to 12 different categories of how a command reacts upon melding it with crystals. There are 7 different crystals that have a distinct proportion if they get you HP abilities or whatever.
I want the fire burst one.
Oh yeah, you definitely want the fire burst.
I definitely want the fire burst here.
There are 7 different crystals that have a certain proportion of what kind of commands they can give you, and 2 other ones which I won't really go over right now because they don't really appear in any % run. But each command falls under a certain category, and depending on which category that command is in, you get a different ability tied to it with the crystal. So it's not random which one you would get. Right here we have to fight Lucifer. For that we want to go into the Aqua D-Link and start with a shot lock. In this case, Moon got really unlucky that Lucifer ran off immediately. Usually she just stays there and tanks the entire Flame Salvo. But now we want to place Mind Square next to it because she will just turn herself into the entire Mind Square. Now we try to go for another shot lock. Hopefully she dies, or he dies from it. Yeah, there we go. That was a decent fight. Very unlucky in the beginning that Lucifer ran off immediately. That usually shouldn't happen, but can't really do much about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of RNG
happens.
involved in BBS.
A lot of RNG, apparently.
So we got a Keyblade, Stroke of Midnight, but
we don't use it.
Don't want to use it. It's
a bad one.
I think it's...
It's not so bad, but it's not really necessary for us to do.
I think that's the only Keyblade I literally never used. I hate
me too. To be honest, I don't like this one.
So there's a little movement tech you could use with Sliding Dash that you sometimes try to get in Enchanted Dominion and other worlds later on. If you Slide It Dash, you might have seen it earlier when Mode used it in Castle of Dreams. If you Slide Dash, there's a little landing lag to the animation. But if you hit something with the Slide Dash, like right here, Mode hit a few enemies with the Slide Dash. Once you hit something with a command, it's considered as the start of a combo. And in BBS, you can dodge roll out of combos whenever you want to. Like, not whenever you want to, but pretty early into the hits. Which means on Sliding Dash, instead of having the landing lag, you can roll immediately out of that. And just continue moving. It's better to hit something with the Sliding Dash than to not hit anything.
Oh shit.
Like right now you saw...
not really good.
Not necessarily because of the cliff, but just because there was no enemy to hit. There was a landing lag and he couldn't really do anything until he lands on the ground. And then he can continue moving.
Normally what I just did here was I slided dash into the air so that I will get up to the upper place.
Oh yeah, exactly. If you hit cutscene triggers, like not loading screens, but just cutscene triggers, for example, just like with the firewall we just saw.
Yeah.
The cutscene just triggers with the sliding dash, so that's another way to prevent the landing lag from happening. Now we have another fight, the Goons fight.
I don't like goons, especially those from Maleficent.
Yeah.
That's really
Maleficent can summon as
terrible,
well,
so first this one.
yeah, in this fight, we basically just want to use Fire, Mind Square, and Blizzard to defeat the Goons. They appear from the two entrances in this room. And what you can do, but is a little bit risky to do, is you can just straight up jump and aim yourself towards the middle of the entrance for the Goons, and just, without lock-on or anything, straight up shoot the Blizzard in there, because Blizzard, contrary to Fire, Blizzard doesn't get interrupted or anything once it hits an enemy. Fire just stops moving. If it hits an enemy, that's all it does. Blizzard, however, pierces through enemies. And that means if you can position yourself properly, fast enough, you can just jump, shoot a Blizzard.
Come over here!
You can just jump, shoot the Blizzard, and hit the enemies before they even spawn into the arena. And you saw there we got level 7, which is a strength upgrade. It's pretty, what do you call it? Pretty important to get it. Which is why we go for 110 EXP before level 7, because you get around 110 EXP in this fight. And we want the strength upgrade, because strength is what determines the power of our shot locks. Shot locks, I haven't really explained what that is yet. You see the little focus gauge next to the character portrait? The focus gauge right there currently is a max, so 100 out of 100. Whenever we hit something, we get back part of our focus gauge, and shot locks use this focus gauge. Which means we want to, yeah, as soon as we can, we want to try and use... Oh,
that was close.
That is scary.
I need a backup for this one, to be honest.
I mean, you can usually just fire them. From
No. Yeah, I could normally, but I know a backup to get up here.
Oh, yeah, you can back that up.
Yeah.
And yeah, shot locks are really useful because they're pretty overpowered in BBS. They're still overpowered in KH3 where they continue to be used and useful in 0.2, but they're completely broken in BBS.
So what I just did, I waited a little bit of the teleport because it was purple earlier and now it was yellow. It's just like a labyrinth here, and we just need to get the right one, the right path.
That's the only teleporter that actually changes colors, which a lot of runners, when they start running this game, they either aren't aware of that maze part.
So let's hope Maleficent is nice to me.
Yeah, let's hope that's
gonna
be happening.
And I just
Maleficent is one of the worst fights in the run. She can just, if she wants to, she can just stall for time and lose you an infinite amount of time. You usually just want to try and shotlock her the entire time, but she can dodge it. Like right now, she just dodged it just because she wants to. If you get really lucky, she's just gonna stand in the middle like she does right now, and she's gonna eat the entire shotlock. She will take so much damage from it. If you remember, we got a fire boost on one of the fire rock commands through the shimmering command mail, and that fire boost increases everything that has to do with fire. So the command style Firestorm, which is basically, if you use fiery commands or commands that have something to do with fire, you can get Firestorm as a command style, and all your commands have a fire element to it, and all your normal attacks. And even commands like Fire, all the Shotlock, Flame Salvo are getting stronger with fire boosts. So we want to try to get a few of them in the run. That is very unlucky. She has such low health left.
Oh no!
Oh, she does the universe attack. This is just a DM, which is more annoying than anything because she's just gonna fly around.
I hate this.
That was a. That's exactly what I mean. Maleficent can do whatever she wants. She doesn't care about you or your run.
That never happened before any time.
Really?
Yeah. The last times I practiced it, never DM. Never. It's the worst fight actually now.
This fight can go
This
so
is a great
wrong.
marathon, like, yeah.
Yeah, we have a bunch of cutscenes now because we finished the first cycle of worlds, and if you You can already see in the top right we have a new world unlocked. And right now we don't know which world it is. For me, when I first played it, I thought this was Pride Lands. But yeah, it's definitely not Pride Lands. We want to quickly do another menu here and want to equip the sleeps that we bought earlier. Because the next boss we fight is actually...
Don't spoil it! Don't spoil it!
I'm just saying that it's vulnerable to sleep because that's why we equip it. You're gonna see the strat.
Yeah, now you spoiled it.
What can I spoil if you already do the menu and equip sleep?
So yeah, but it could be something else. You're terrible. You just spoil it all the
So
way.
right here we have to defeat the masked boy, which we won't really defeat. We have to death abuse here. You can defeat him or put him onto a certain health level and end the fight, but it's way faster in all categories to just let yourself get defeated. On beginner it's a little bit longer. You barely take any damage, so it takes a while to lose enough health.
That was pretty fast.
On crit, you would, for example, just get hit once and the fight is over.
Oh, normally yes, there are like 2 hits. Just 2 empty hits would be enough. So,
And
we got
now-
Mickey!
Exactly, we get Mickey now.
And Mickey's bad. I don't like Mickey
In
yet.
this fight he's good.
Oh,
So right here we use sleep because the masked boy is very vulnerable to sleep and generally to several status ailments. This fight, in other stories you encounter more often, and the further you get into the story, the less status effects actually affect him. Right now, basically everything affects him. You can see Mickey is just ripping through his health right now. He can do a weird team attack. Ooh. That was unfortunate timing. Usually if you keep up the cycle, you can just continuously keep the sleep cycle going and going, and she shouldn't be able to teleport out of it.
Not again! Okay.
The reason we don't do anything is because our finishers knock him out of the sleep, and Mickey's attacks don't. Mickey does way more damage than we anyway, so we're just waiting for him to do the job and deal the finishing blow just to kill steal basically from him.
So everybody who was just sleeping now, get back to sleep.
Yeah. So now, after the fight with the masked boy in the world, we don't know which it is yet. We are
Wait, we don't know?
No, story-wise, we wouldn't know it yet.
Oh, that's terrible.
We learned about it pretty late. Yeah, we're now in Radiant Garden, which if you played the first games, this might be familiar to you. It's the early version of Hollow Bastion. And we want to use the Snow White D-Link here to grind on these little mandrakes, is what they're called. We usually want to try to put them to sleep so they don't move a lot. And use Grumpy because,
Perfect.
Let's go.
Let's go. Perfect.
Grumpy is, all of the dwarves represent the command, just with slightly different effects or percentages.
Yeah. Not going
And
to
in this case, Grumpy is treasure rate, which means we will toss our Keyblade towards the enemies, and if we get lucky enough, we get a drop out of that toss. In this case, we wanted the red drop, which is a Bounding Crystal, which we're going to use right here in the command melding, but first we're going to do a little more menuing. We sell the Tornado Strike and the sleeves we had earlier, and now we're going to buy 3 Binding Strikes and 4 Magnets just to level these up and use them later. Oh, you need to sell a few potions, you don't have enough money. You missed 21 money.
No.
We have 4 potions. That's
No. Don't need potions anyway.
fine. Yeah, we don't need potions.
Who needs potion? To be honest.
On Akko, you actually use high potions.
So
Okay,
now
there
we
we
have
go.
4.
Now we have
Right.
4 magnets and 3 binding strikes, and we will first command meld strike rate and sliding dash, as I talked about earlier, with an abounding crystal, because that gives us payback rate, which is not what we go for, but EXP walker, which means every step we take gives us 2 EXP, not 1 EXP for some reason. It's really weird how that works. Stutter stepping works as well, and circling around with the D-pad works. Some of you might know that you have done it in the past, that you would just take your PSP, put a piece of paper or rubber band around your analog stick and just let the character run in circles with EXP Walker just to level up overnight. I tried myself, my PSP broke from it for some reason. And
Really?
Yeah. I don't know how, but the D-pad, the analog stick is just...
Okay, that's
whacked
weird.
down.
What did you do?
I don't know, it just doesn't work anymore. But yeah, we're back in this room. This is the best place to grind for Ventus. And you see we're back into a D-Link, the Mickey D-Link in this case.
Give me.
This is so unlucky, but there we go.
There we go. But I need the second one as well.
Yeah, we want to get... You usually want to revert because you shouldn't be able to get a second drop.
I try it. I try it.
I wouldn't go for it. You don't get any XP.
Alright, you're right.
Yeah. So, with the Yarn Ball, you saw we kill the enemies pretty quickly, which we do with normal attacks as well. But with the Yarn Ball, it's still a little bit faster just because you have a big area of...
I wanted to say someone was here, right? Yeah.
And yeah, we grind for 2 D-Link levels because we need a certain command that this Mickey D-Link has. And on top of that, D-Links get abilities. The Aqua abilities don't matter, but Mickey has auto teleport, which can be a nuisance during the grind because it can cancel your commands just like it did now. And you don't necessarily need to revert.
That was bad.
And
okay, going back here.
Yeah, the second ability that Mickey has is double EXP, which is pretty
the newer route that we have.
Yeah,
apparently it's more easier to handle.
Yeah, we just try to EXP grind and command grind at the same time. And due to the double EXP, we get a mass of EXP. And you saw right here, Mond went into the Snow White D-Link real quick because there was a D-Link drop lying around. We want to try while we're level grinding and command grinding. We want to grind to level 18, by the way, so we're going to be here for a little while.
That was the wrong one. This one.
We want to try and get a few D-Link levels, which is level 1 for Terra to get a second sliding dash, and level 2 for Snow White for one single forced fight, but it's worth getting those levels because you save so much time with that strat on forced fights. And yeah. As said earlier, if the D-Link gauge isn't completely filled, you can't go into D-Link yet.
Okay, that's bad.
Which means that usually after Sign of Faith or maybe Mind Shield as well, Mond will have to revert.
I don't use Mind Shield. Yeah. I'm not good enough with this. So.
Then in this case, after Sign of Faith, you would revert to get the D-Link drops and D-Link drop exactly. And if you yeah, that's what I mean. Auto teleport just screws with your.
Oh wait. Do I have? Kill him, please.
What are they going to?
Okay,
yeah, so
we got it.
If you saw that every time you use a command, they go on cooldown. However, if you revert and go back into the D-Link, you circumvent the cooldown because you basically, every time you activate a D-Link, you get the commands out of cooldown, even if they would be theoretically still on cooldown. You could use the craziest commands with the longest of reload times. If you just revert and go back into the D-Link, you have them back.
What I just saw earlier, or what I did sometimes just to check out how many XP I have. If you're going into the menu, then you're...
Oh, one of them survived. Of course it's a flood. They always trick.
Always floods, always.
Floods, as you see, can go underground. They're the same as Shadows and Cage. 1, 2, 3 days, wherever you encounter them. They're terrible. They just hate you and your run. They will go underground whenever they please, and they will take their time as long as they want to. Right here we see the last D-Link drop that we need, which is with Terra.
Oh, finally I can
He got the ability Overdrive, which is not really useful on the beginner run. It would be useful in crit, but that's another story. Now we have the levels for both Snow White and Terra, which means we can entirely focus on command as well as XP grinding. Right now we're level 13, I believe, which means we need 5 more levels, or 4.5 because we're halfway through
let me
14.
check something first.
And yeah, commands are fully leveled up, which means we can switch them up for other commands we have, which in this case are 3 Firers and the other 2 Magnets we have left.
That's perfect. It was a little bit scary at first, but it's apparently a good one.
Yeah, you have...
It's a good RNG, apparently.
We're level 15, that's fine. Yeah, we have more than enough time to get those levels out.
Come on. This is so bullshit. Sorry for this language.
We don't have,
I'm sorry.
We don't have any donations or anything to read out, right? Just making sure.
Do we?
Do we have anything to read out? Because right now it's not. It's gonna be like that for a few more minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, now we're level 16. We need 2 more levels, then the grind is done. As you see, now that we gained a lot of levels, Sign of Faith is really strong, and it just blasts through all the waves by itself. You don't have to.
Is everything level 3 now?
Holy
what?
Yeah, that's quick. It always goes that quickly.
No, I mean Farah is only on level 1.
Oh yeah, it doesn't really matter too much because you still have quite a big way to go. You also have to grind in Raining Garden a little bit more, so that's a little. You will have your commands level up by that point.
I hope so. If not, I'm sad.
Just blame me, don't worry.
I blame you.
That's what all.
I will
that's
blame
what
you
all the
anyways.
runners do.
I always am going to blame you. You know this.
Yeah, so you just saw Moon collecting the D-Link drop outside of being a D-Link, which in that case, it has a interesting use. It basically just fills up your entire gauge no matter how full you're like. You saw there are different sizes of the D-Link drops.
Okay,
the
I'm
drops
level
in
3
can
now.
be small and a big drop. Small drops fill up 1 point, big drops fill up 3 points, I believe. Or 3 or 5, I'm not sure. You have a tiny bit more.
A tiny bit more. 1 wave.
And the the star shape drop, it gives you a complete refill of your D-Link no matter how full you are. And yeah, now after this red hot chili, I believe is what they're called. Yeah, 1 more Sign of Faith and we're level 18. That means we can finally leave the world.
Finally, grinding is over, guys.
Yeah. Usually, if you start with the category, grinding is the part where you lose the most time.
Yeah.
A lot of the times you don't, like, I see on a lot of newer runners, they don't realize how much time they lose. It was the same for me. When I ran Terra, for example, I never realized how much time I was losing to grinding. I was on a pretty decent level, but I had still like 2 to 3 minutes left on grinding to save. Just because it's actually pretty precise to do it properly.
I forgot something to do in the earlier.
What did you forget? I can't remember right now.
I forgot to melt magnets into Magnera.
Oh, you can do that later. I usually do that before the boss. So yeah, now we trigger a little cutscene. We finally are done with the grind, so we can actually go ahead and play the game properly again. We're back to Radiant Garden, continuing the story because we just basically left and let them do their own thing. We have to follow a boss called Trinity Armor.
Trinity Armor.
Yeah, I keep forgetting the English name. I only have the German name for it in my head.
What would be the German name anyway?
Triumvirator.
What?
That's really weird.
That's really weird.
I don't know why it's called like that. It's just weird. We're now in the Fountain Court, and that's why we level up Terra twice, because now he has 2 sliding dashes, and we can just skip all the platforming here by just utilizing sliding dash for movement. Oof. Yeah, this
is one is a close one.
You have to sliding dash pretty late into the high jump to grab the ledge. So now you see our D-Link isn't full yet, so we're gonna grind a little bit on the floods, because they always give 2 D-Link drops.
I don't want it then.
And yeah, there are gonna be 2 more floods up there.
Yeah, no, I'm just going back to do this anyway. I'm just getting 2 floods down and then 2 floods over here.
Oh, there's one more drop.
I know, there's one more.
Yeah.
Don't panic. I know what I'm doing, apparently. So, let's go into Mega.
Yeah. We want to do 1 more menu before the next boss, which the next boss is right when you enter the next room. So we try to get rid of all the enemies here while grinding a little bit, just to be able to do the menu without any problems. You saw, I haven't really gone over that, but as long as there are enemies on screen, or not really on screen, but in a certain area around you, you will not be able to enter the menu, because the game will have it'll be in battle mode, basically. It has a yellow command menu instead of blue, and that just indicates you're in a battle, you can't leave, you can't go into the menu or do whatever. In this case, oh, I think you left something alive. Yeah, those griffins are terrible. They can easily avoid your commands and just fly around the room again. So now we want to do 1 more big menu. The other ones won't be that big anymore. We want to melt Binding Strikes, Fires, and Fleeting Crystals.
Yeah, I forgot.
For Fire Surge, which is going to be our main tool for the rest of the run, because we'll do immense damage with that. The Surges are generally considered completely broken.
Do you see something like I see? Look at how many Fleeting Crystals I have.
Yeah, you have the exact right amount.
Perfect.
Yeah. which is really good. Now we're gonna fuse the magnets as well to Magnera, just to have more fleeting crystals for Magic Haste. As well as Magnera will be helping us.
Fire Surge first, I guess.
Yeah, and then Magnera. It doesn't
yeah.
really matter in which order.
It doesn't matter, but in any case, it's better.
Magnera will help us on some forced fights.
Okay, let's go to the best boss fight here.
Yeah, so now we have Trinity Armor. It's not necessarily a dangerous fight on beginner categories. You can still die if you're very careless, but it shouldn't really happen too often.
happening like the first boss.
But with the grinder out, usually would be, I believe, level 12 or 13
Yeah,
around this
13,
point, if not
13.
lower. And now we're level 18, which you're gonna see on how much damage we do that we're completely overpowered. We have, unfortunately, only one fire boost, and we didn't get any other shimmering drops. That is very...
Yeah, this is a little bit bad, but it's fine.
I didn't even pay attention to that. That is very unlucky. It usually that should not happen. Like, of course it can happen. It's completely RNG, but you don't get to see that very often. And yeah, now you're gonna see Firestorm soon-ish.
No, Firestorm, we don't do
No,
Firestorm yet.
you usually do it on...
No.
No, of course. Because he's not moving. And it just shreds through his HP. It deletes all the parts of the bosses.
This is his invulnerable phase.
Once only the head is alive, he goes invulnerable for a little bit, and then he's charging up the laser by himself. And at this part, you just want to whack with your Keyblade at him, use a few fire surges, use a few normal attacks, maybe a shot lock depending on how the fight goes. And yeah, Firestorm. In this case, the position was a little bit unlucky because he was so high up in the air, but
Never mind.
there we go.
It's
It
a
wasn't
good
that
fight.
bad of a fight.
It is still a good fight.
That's fine.
At least I didn't die.
Yeah. Alright, it's beginning. If at all, you should maybe die at the final fight. But I hope you don't.
Please don't jinx it.
So in this case, you can do two different things. If you have full D-Link, you can do a tiny down warp later on or in the next room. Because if you activate a D-Link, you might have seen that your character will be forced to the ground no matter how high you are. So we use it to quote-unquote teleport us down to the ground. And
Not again. That's so...
it doesn't really matter too much. It doesn't save too much time. It's usually not even worth to go for D-Link.
Yeah, I just want
right.
to do it. Anyway.
Yeah, you can short off, sure.
Because it's faster to get down with the D-Link.
Yeah, so right here, he will use the Terra D-Link, and he get zipped down to the ground, and then he can use sliding dashes. Or Quick Blade.
Never mind. So now I can revert.
Yeah. So now we have one more fight up in this world.
It's a
Oh
good
yeah, I
fight
didn't
up.
even mention that we equipped. So there are 3 types of quote-unquote command decks. The normal command deck we can use, or we're using right now with Magnera, Fire Search and all. Then the second one for action commands, like dodge, roll, jump is a command as well, which you can unequip so you're not able to jump anymore, or change it for high jump or whatever. And glide and all goes there. And then the third one is just for the shot lock. And yeah, on the action commands, we earlier equipped the payback rate we've used for permanent EXP walker as well as high jump.
Oh shit.
And yeah, these enemies are called tank topplers. They're pretty annoying.
Come
so if
on.
you don't magnet them or anything, they can blow up if you hit them from the front and just roll around, waste time, and be invulnerable. They usually, like, you might have, if you play it casually, you usually see like 1 or 2 just rolling around, waiting for you to get close and explode.
That was a little bit unlucky. Normally you could do what is the last wave of those. What do you talk? What name
topplers?
did they? Topplers?
Tank toppler.
Tank toppler? Yeah. Normally the tank toppler are going to spawn in the last wave as well, and normally you can in the second wave or the first wave, better to say, from the tank toppler. You normally Magnera there. Then going into the first fire surge, or maybe a second fire surge, then the other wave is spawning into them. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Now it's fine.
So in
It's
that
fine.
case, it didn't work out quite as well with the tank topplers because you actually got to it. I don't really get that often.
What?
The hit with the sliding dash on the enemies. I usually just sliding dash and barely miss them by a pixel. Or
Yeah,
something.
that's not so.
But Yeah, in this case it was pretty unlucky because Mond had to use 2 shot locks because he was too far away from the last 2 enemies on the 3rd wave, the blue ones. I don't remember.
No, there were the it was
exactly. They were a little bit
blue
too far away,
ones, yeah.
so he had to use another shot lock, and that led to the point where the tank topplers got hit by the shot lock, which if they get hit too much, as I said earlier, they just blow up, roll around a little bit while being invulnerable and explode after a time, which is a time and EXP and CP waste. At that point, EXP and CP don't really matter.
So,
But, yeah.
best minigame ever.
Yeah, people say they like that.
Peoples, are you ready for ice cream?
Are you ready for playing?
Not
You're
for
just
playing.
standing around.
Are you ready for ice cream?
Yeah,
No?
So now we have a rhythm game.
Yes.
That people actually consider this good. I hate all of the mini games here. I don't know why people like it. I hate it with a passion.
I like it because we get ice cream. At least we get ice cream, guys.
And yeah, there's one goal to this, which is getting 1,050 points. I've seen people fail it already, and that's a shame. Like, you have to get 1,050 points to pass this. Otherwise, you have to redo the minigame, I believe. It's like... all the 3 characters have different minigames. You have either the ice cream beat with Ventus right here. With... it's a small world, I believe is the song called. Or fruit ball with Aqua, which is a 3-minute bathroom break, to be fair. Or rumbling racing with Terra, which is basically Mario Kart in Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Cards, as we call it.
I will lose.
Oh, I hope you don't.
Normally you can get it really fast with a rhythm. I will lose here. I will lose time here.
Oh, please don't.
Yeah, I will lose time here.
No!
Yeah, because
Oh.
I'm not actually... It's so hard to watch it or be running it on the smaller monitor. It's so
That
weird.
is true, yeah. I've seen some people do it. Like, some of the runners do it without sound, which...
retry,
yeah,
right?
retry, yeah.
Retry.
Some people do it without sound. I don't know how they do it.
I can do it with sound, but if you are talking about this, then I can't get the rhythm.
I'm sorry.
But it's not a serious one, so it's fine. But let me see this if I can get it. It's so a shame. One more time, ice cream. It looks better now. Should be alright, I guess. Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah, you need 50 more points. So, okay, good. Yeah, this is fortunately the shortest minigame.
Ice cream!
So
One more time, ice cream!
if you should fail it, you lose the least amount of time in this minigame, contrary to rumbling racing or fruit ball.
No, we are not shouting, shooting ducklings.
Well,
we give them ice cream at least.
We're shooting them with ice cream too.
Yeah,
but they're
so
able to,
it's-
they catch it in the cone, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, now it's time for a funny word.
Better than playing Mohun while having like Peter supporter or something like that.
Think so?
Okay, so now we have the
that was
first
unfortunate.
force fight in Olympus Coliseum, which in other versions of the game, usually Olympus Coliseum was like the Coliseum. The Coliseum aspect doesn't really exist here because it's entirely in the Mirage Arena. And you see we have 2 side characters, just like in the Orbs fight. We have
We have the best character apparently here.
Hercules and
Zack!
Zack, yeah.
Zack is the
Or
best
the
character.
unknown soldier with a mask. It's Zack, yeah.
Oh, we spoiled it.
From Crisis Core. It doesn't really matter.
You think so?
You can actually see that Zack uses a few of the commands that he can use in Crisis Core as well. But
I guess I can use shot lock
yeah,
here
you
as
just
well.
shot lock here usually. If you get really lucky, you can finish this wave with one shot lock, but that rarely happens. Why are you not? Oh, they're all that far away. Oh.
Yeah, of course,
Oh. They just all ganged up over there, trying to get as far away from you as possible.
This is happening a lot lately.
Oh, and another one.
Where?
So, fun
What?
little thing. The
How is he
this game
up
was.
there?
Let me explain. This game was made for the PSP, which means there were a lot of hardware limitations, which is why there are no NPCs and not a lot of enemies spawn at the same time. And this fight, I don't know how many of those jellyfish there are, but there's one single jellyfish that spawns after the wave, which is solely due to the PSP hardware limitations.
This is so sad.
It is sad. It's even more
By
sad
the way,
on the mass fights.
lagging. It's lagging there when you talk to Herrick.
Yeah, I believe that's because they just ripped
Oh,
the
this
text
is
box
bad
straight from the
RNG.
PSP.
I have
and
bad
it's like
RNG
50.
here.
Oh, that doesn't matter. You just have to get 15 points and then you can wiggle around with the stick. Wiggle around with the analog stick to get EXP. Because we have EXP Walker.
There's that one.
So we have 2 rounds of earns that we have to do. First, we just have to get 15 points. We don't even have to win or anything. Herc can get 5,000 points. We just need 15 and that's all. But second round, we actually need to win against Herc. So at that point, it kind of matters if we get the barrels or not. But as you see, why is he just standing around there? Weird.
I just wanted to stand around for the last second.
No, I mean, Herc was standing right next to you, just... I don't
Buddy,
even call...
we are buddies, you know this.
No, how do you call that? Mocking you or whatever.
Oh, that's good.
So there are explosive barrels and barrels you can jump on to roll around with. There's a fun little glitch that can happen. If you jump on the barrel in a really weird way, Ventus will just breakdance on top of it and it will look really weird. It rarely happens, but maybe we get to see it. Unlikely.
Did you ever fail this one here?
No.
Okay, good.
I'm not
Me
failing
neither.
Earns.
You can fail.
You can fail it, but I don't fail it.
I don't do that either. I never failed it. So please just hope that it's not going so bad.
Hey, you failed Ice Cream Beat. I believe you can do
I'm
anything.
not.
You can do anything if you want to, apparently.
I'm not used to a small monitor. I'm not used to a small monitor. Please. But you're on this small thing there.
I think Crispy did a data walk run on his smartphone on GDQ. I don't know how well it went.
Crispy.
Yeah, I think it was Crispy. I don't know why he did that. I don't know how well it went. I think he actually stopped pretty early because you couldn't see anything there. Yeah. So yeah, there isn't really a point limit you can get here, I believe. It's probably going to be 999 as of every single minigame. But you can't really get that high. I think the highest I ever got was like 250.
Wow,
that wasn't that high.
If
you get very unlucky, like right here, wow, we got just 29 points, and now we have 119 points. Hell yeah, the curse number. Hercules can actually go crazy here and just get a lot of points really quickly if you get very unlucky, but right now it's okay. He shouldn't really be able to catch up too much anymore. Oh, you didn't get stunned, okay. I don't know what exactly the proportion, the conditions for that are, but sometimes if you get hit by an explosive barrel, it doesn't matter if you or Herc triggers it, you just get stunned and just wait. You just have to wait a little bit. Yeah, I was about to say, go first person and watch him or something. Just watch him like one of them. Oh my god. Visitors, whatever. I'm missing a lot of words right now.
And guys, that has nothing to do with lag reduction
there's no
strats.
lag reduction or anything.
It's just
the
for...
PS4 does run, which I'm not really surprised about. Yeah, the remasters run stable 60
jelly
frames
time.
Because it's PS2 and PS3.
Jelly time.
Yeah, now we have to defeat, I believe it's like 300 jellies or something.
Could be, I don't know.
However, with PSP hardware limitations, this looks exactly like 1K from KH2. First of all the enemies have 1 HP because I bet the game just couldn't handle proper health bars on the PSP yet on such mass fights. Which means with Magnet, because Magnet, every time it draws enemies into itself, it deals a tiny bit of damage, and because all of them only have 1 HP, they get
finished.
Killed immediately. As you saw right there, there was still a mass of them left, but because of the PSP hardware limitations, they just had a PNG background or whatever, or GIF or whatever, playing with all the jellyfish being 2D and just floating around on the back. And once the fight ends, you just immediately don't see any of them. Yeah, remember the
I
Mako?
remembered.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
remembered. I just wanted to do it now. If I'm not fighting you.
Yeah, so
But this is okay. I can do this as well.
a lot of people equip the Mark of a Hero Keyblade that we get from this world, which increases our strength by 1 and decreases magic by... no, it
Or isn't
increases
it
by
a
2 and decreases magic by 1. That's what
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
And the damage actually scales for this fight. This fight is terrible. It's Metamorphosis 1.
We like... everybody likes this fight. Everybody. It's the best fight
It's the
here.
best. So for some reason, just like with escorts, every single character has a glider fight. And in this case, we don't have to shred all the health, luckily. But with Mark of a Hero, this fight is so much faster, even if you have to menu it by itself. You just deal a lot of damage. Without it, you would probably deal like half of
Can you
that.
please get my dash here ready? I hate this dash.
This fight is...
Alright.
It's
It's fine. It's fine, I guess.
It wasn't that bad. It could have
Oh,
been way worse.
yeah. True.
The good thing is, as I said a few times earlier already, it's not crit, so we can't die too easily. On crit,
So
we would have died
normally,
10 years ago.
normally we would equip now
Yeah,
in this
exactly.
situation Mark of a Hero, but
Yeah, you would equip Mark of a Hero before the hallway fights. I call them like these little fights here.
I
Yeah,
forget
this is an
this is
unskippable
not
cut.
skippable
I
cutscene.
forget that every single time.
Yeah, like in the first time with the drafts minigame, it's all, the same. You want to skip them, but you can't skip it.
I can remember the dwarf cutscene for some reason, but not this one. So right here, if you watch the top right of the screen
Oh,
after
wow.
Metamorphosis,
I got hit.
we got a new command star called Wingblade. I haven't really gone about that yet. A few fights give us... Some of them give us HP up or deck capacity
Can
increases.
you just die here?
But some fights give us new command stars. Is it? Oh, I was about to say, is that a shimmering now that late in? That would have been control. In this case, we got Wingblade, which you're using right now. And if used properly, you can end the second fight really quickly, but you don't necessarily have to go for that. Wingblade, as you see, we have 6 blades, which we'll fight with. Personally, my favorite command style with Ventus. And I think in general, the only one I like...
Wingblade is so awesome, to be honest.
The only one I might like more is Rock Shadow from Terra. So
So
right here, if you would use a Magnera and then Wingblade in the middle of the Magnera, the fight ends.
No,
Like right
not
now.
here.
No, you can have 2 waves there and the fight just ends. Because the first wave gets killed with the initial hit and the second with the second hit, yeah. That's why Wingblade is really useful. It's very convenient that we get it right before this fight.
So, we're going to shop anyway.
Yeah, we have another little shop upcoming. We will sell Magnera, one of them, because we want to keep one for the last mob fight we have to do. So we're going to sell 1 Magnera and just random stuff we have. We need 300 more money. You have 3 Magneras and 0 gravity. Or high potions or whatever. High potions are fine. Doesn't really matter.
I would love to see a zero gravity strat with...
That should be barely enough, yeah. You will leave with 11. If you buy... Do you buy 2 or 3 right now? Doesn't really matter. You have enough money.
I will do 2.
Okay, so you can either buy 3 or 2 to 4 fire surges. If you go for 2 fire surges, you usually want to buy another cure as well,
I will
just
do
for
save
safety.
strats here. It's
Because
better.
later on we only have cure as a... Like, we can use D-Links to heal as well, but it's not as good. We will have 1 cure for the final fights if we go for the faster strats, or 2 if we go for the safer strats as now. If you buy 3 fire surges, you usually won't have enough space for another cure, because our command deck is limited to 8 commands.
What I am doing here. I hate this camera here, to be honest.
And yeah, if you have enough money, you can buy 4 to skip a chest, because in this next room we're gonna get 1 chest with a fire surge, just because we usually don't have enough money to buy enough to fill our command deck. Right here is just another fire surge, very conveniently right next to the path we have to take.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna see the boss from earlier again, Metamorphosis.
I hope he's...
This encounter is a little bit more...
I hope he
lenient.
is nice to me this time.
Yeah, he
I
can...
know how much trouble you had
yeah.
with him.
So...
The last couple of days or times that you were running
I didn't
all
lose too
story.
much time. And all story is actually pretty nice, but yeah.
Oh
Stitch,
yeah, nice!
You can see Stitch can do a lot of damage here.
Nice Stitch.
But that's completely luck-based. So you want to use Flame Salvo. The max hits you can get is 51, which is not too hard to get, but yeah, you see Moon got them, which is really good. And this is an incredible fight. If he would stay there, come on. That was incredible, yeah, very lucky.
I guess this is the best fight you can have.
Nah, it can be a little bit faster. You don't necessarily have to mash for the second shot like a
Yeah,
Stitch helps
and
more,
yeah.
this
If
is,
Stitch is going to shoot one more time.
yeah, but this was very good.
It is the second best
You
fight.
can't really ask for more than what you got right now.
Yeah. That was a good fight.
Yeah, that was really good. So he can do a lot of stuff. He can hide behind the pillar. Stitch can just chill and do nothing.
Or he jumps all the way up like a ball. And
Yeah, he can curl himself up to a ball and just bounce around a little bit, which he activates some kind of RC or reaction command or whatever, which we don't really want to use because it's wasting time. We
It
would
is
just
wasting time.
We'd just yeet Stitch into the enemy and he would be stuck on him for a little bit.
So, this is apparently the last really word that we
the
are
last
going to
Disney
trouble.
word. Exactly. So right here we're going to use the Snow White D-Link that we leveled up earlier. Because Snow White, just like all the other D-Links, if you level her
Snow
up,
White is so
she
awesome.
will get new commands, or in this case new dwarfs, because the commands are all called like dwarfs.
Yeah.
And in this case we get a command that is usually exclusive to Terra.
So, you
called
just started
Warp.
earlier right now, no? You're just going here into the
No,
D-Link?
you start with
with
magnet.
Magnet. You just
Magnet
stand
fire
with
search,
Magnet and you're doing Fire Search and
Then you go
then
into
the
Snow
second
White.
wave.
So
Come here, you my guys. Oh. That's unfortunate.
yeah, just hit them.
Yeah.
It's whatever. You have enough fire service.
Oh, I have enough Fire Search.
Yeah, usually Warp is a command exclusively to Terra, but with the Snow White D-Link, we have access to it as
Where is
the
it?
name of Bashful.
Oh,
you got
I
knocked
got
out
hit.
of it.
Yeah, I got hit.
And Bashful...
Oh, come on! Not again! That is
Wow.
so bad.
Bashful, it can, as you see, just warp enemies out of the arena. If you get really lucky, you need 2 Bashfuls and the fight is over. The best I got is 3, I think. And yeah, now I would just leave, just so you get D-Link for the next fight. Or leave the D-Link. And not for the next return movement.
Oh, come on. Don't.
Or you don't.
I'm
not sure if you get-
Yes, I have it.
I'm not sure if you have enough. We'll see. But
We will see if it's
yeah,
glowing.
usually what you want to do is you want to use Bashful until the first wave of the Mandrakes and the little totem tower is gone. And then free monkeys, I think.
No. Nope. He didn't
that's
pick
what
it up.
That's what usually happens.
Yeah, he didn't pick it
What
up.
you usually want to do is on the face of the monkeys, that one doesn't give dealing drops. You have to. do
This
monkey.
one gives.
You sure? Oh, okay. I thought he gives money. Oh yeah, I mixed it up with the yellow one, blue ones.
Yeah. The blue ones doesn't give. So now we can use Terra D-Link again, just for the sliding dash part here.
Yeah. So what you usually do on the fight before you just Bashful until the monkeys spawn. Then you try it one more time. If all of them get deleted with Warp, then it's fine. If they don't, you just revert and use Flame Salvo to finish the fight, just to get D-Link drops.
So what I did was I used my Fire Search because it's faster to just use a comment than do a full combo here.
Yeah,
it's definitely faster.
There are a lot of rocks in that area. Oh yeah, you should have done the menu earlier. Now you have to.
No, I'm just doing it every time here. It's for me better.
Okay.
So I only need the Fire Search here.
You can equip Cure as well for attack haste.
Should be this one.
Yeah, usually you want to do the menu right after the forced fight, because by the time you get here, the commands will be recharged and you won't have to wait in the fight. It doesn't really matter too much. You can wait a little bit in the fight, because Hook is at the edge of the arena anyway. Hook is terrible. I hate this fight with a passion.
So, what did you say I have always? I have them. I just don't need to wait here. Normally you do this before the Hook fight. Every time.
I usually do it after the force fight right away. You can also easily forget it if you don't do it by that point. But if you get carried away or something. So there's a funny little thing you can do with Hook. You saw that he sometimes parries, and your recovery time is faster than his after the parry. Which means after his parry, I think that's a strat Rebel told me of, you can just mash out another Fire Surge, and basically you can Fire Surge him while he's parrying you, just to get the full extent of Fire Surge in there.
Yeah.
Because as you see right now, he can either just dodge or iframe or parry or something through your attack, which is really what you don't, not what you want.
So,
That was a...
in my chat or in my stream, I just make a good... It's not a good joke or not a good pun, but I say so. And now... And that's the reason why we know Captain Morgan.
No.
And that's how it works. Just burning him.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a bad pun, I know.
Wow.
It's a bad pun.
Can I leave the couch?
No, apparently not.
Yeah, now we're at the Mysterious Tower.
You
the
signed
tower
for
from
it, so
Yensid.
you can't drop from the couch.
In Cage 2, you walk through the entire tower because there's some portals leading you to weird stairways. In BBS, you just walk up the tower and you're right there. So
You do?
no. Yeah, in Cage 2, you have all the little stairways. In BBS,
It was
apparently
a
there's no
joke.
Ah,
You know I run Cage too.
I know, but didn't really sound like a joke. Whatever. Now we're back in the mysterious world, in the foggy world.
Only for cutscene.
Yeah, and then we go back to Land of Departure for a cutscene, because with Terror we actually have a fight here. We would fight this guy, the Ericus.
Master Ericus.
Master Ericus, exactly.
The best guy ever, apparently.
But the worst fight in a run with Terror, because
Yeah, of course.
he's more terrifying on beginner than on crit, actually, because on crit you would have second chance once more.
So we got
cure
last
and
memory.
roadblock and all.
This is the last Keyblade we are actually equipped before we going to the last two bosses.
So now this world is unlocked. It's called Keyblade Graveyard, because the ancient Keyblade war happened here.
Finally!
We're gonna equip one more Cura that we bought earlier. You can go in with 7 Fire Surges and 1 Cura, but it's safer to go with 2 Curas. And we equip Lost Memories because it has straight up better stats than Mark of a Hero. And while we're in the menu, we might as well just equip it. Yeah. Now there's a room called Tornado Valley, which... with Sliding Dash, it's not that hard to do, but back when the PS4 version got released, because Square did a very bad job of implementing 60 FPS, these tornadoes would just go ham on you, and you would not be able to dodge them properly, because they're just... I don't know how many times faster they've been. I don't think it's 2 times. They were like 3-4 times faster than usually. They just accelerate way quicker and just chase you down. There was still a way to work around that if you would go on a very set path by dodging into the tornadoes and triggering the next one before the first one catches you and all. Luckily that got fixed. And I believe what Square did is just they took the game from PSP or PS2, slapped a 60 FPS patch on it, and just rolled with it. They were like, oh, this doesn't work, well...
I would get some serious time here if it's...
Nah, it's fine,
okay.
yeah, I know, but the fight hasn't started
This fight
yet, so I
is
was
terrible.
explaining.
The last fight is better, but this fight is
Yeah,
terrible.
I'm gonna explain the fight after this.
Alright.
He likes to dodge.
That's bad. That's not ready. Yeah, lucky.
Oh, that didn't go through. You can Firestorm into that.
Yeah, but I want to heal first.
Okay.
I just need my heal here.
I always go crazy with skipping.
Like, one hit can definitely be my end.
Yeah.
And I could be doomed.
Oh, he's dodging. Oh, there we go. So, yeah, as you saw, we start off the fight with Flame Salvo.
It is such a terrible fight, to be honest.
You start off the fight with Flame Salvo to knock him off his Keyblades that he rides on, and then you just spam Flame Salvo, Fire Surge, and dodge his incoming attacks if he dodges.
Best music ever.
And I think the one before that was better.
Nah,
I don't like
I
this
like this
too
one
much.
here.
And yeah, you basically spam Fire Surge and hope that he doesn't teleport too much.
Force the Keyblade!
Yeah, you can see Ventus is what this guy is called. Has a Keyblade now, the
The Keyblade.
Which key, like the Greek letter that looks like an X for us, I guess. So not key as in car key or whatever.
But the thing is, basically, this fight, it's a final fight, but it is so easy to handle.
Exactly, it's way easier just because he doesn't teleport as much, and if he teleports, he usually teleports right next to you.
Ah, well, here first. Better be safe.
So this fight has two phases. The first phase consists of just knocking down his HP to 1. And there we go, that's what happens. You can do whatever during this section.
So playtime is over?
Yeah, playtime's over is what he keeps saying.
Playtime's over.
And now we have a Ventus D-Link, which is exclusive to this fight. We get Dark Spiral and Dark Splicer, and the new Shot Lock, which we can only use in this fight. We have to get 4 instances of Dark Link or Dark Spiral.
Oh, he's nice to me.
Or 3 of Dark Splicer to fill up the command gauge that we have over the command deck. I never explained that really, but yeah, it's not that important. You basically just want to hope, spam Shot Lock, and hope that he attacks into it. And if you mash X with the Shot Lock, you can basically win the clash and get a bit of your command gauge filled up. That was a decent fight. Now don't move, otherwise you might whiff. Just lock on and yeah, there we go.
So,
and once the finisher hits, it's time. Even though it hits with a delay. There we go. And yeah, that was Ventus beginner 90%.
If I remember correctly, I'm 1 second behind my PB again.
Not bad.
Or
yeah, one little thing to the finisher.
Know.
One little thing to the finisher. If you move, it can whiff. And that's terrible, so you'd have to get the finisher again. I've lost some PB runs to it, others have lost PB runs to it, which is why I'm just not moving anymore for the last thing and just take the half of a second delay that you get with it.
So just give me a second. I just want to see if I have a new PB or not.
What is the 110.07 new PB or what was it?
I don't know what my PB was.
I don't
remember it. It was 1 week ago.
I mean, I don't remember mine either. It was like 51 whatever.
Where is it?
Just type / KHBBSFMHD.
Wait, KHBBS?
FMHD.
No, there is it.
Yeah.
There it is. Let me see. Let me see.
Now click on PS4 Ventus.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's chill out. And it's
110. Did you PB?
9 seconds.
11 seconds.
11 seconds. Nice, new PB.
Congrats.
With terrible RNG.
Okay,
all right.
Yeah.
So that was
Ventus.
Yeah, that was Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix HD Ventus. Any person beginner.
Yeah, and now we're
going
next with Mushroom 11.
Yeah, with that.
Yeah. Thank you for having me here at the couch.
Yeah.
It was fun commentating, and yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it. Ja, wir sind schon was.